The Chicago Sky are one of the worst basketball teams I've ever seen.
According to Barbie, she is the reason people are watching the WNBA. It is not easy to start a business.
Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky hit rock bottom last night, getting absolutely demolished 107-86 by the Phoenix Mercury.
Angel Reese brings this negative attention on herself. It's because she's constantly acting like a joke.
The Sky are now sitting at a dismal 3-9, and Reese is at a career low position right now. At this rate, the only thing she's dominating is the conversation about what's gone wrong.
The bravado versus the masculine.
Yesterday, the Chicago Sky hit rock bottom, again. The Phoenix Mercury didn't just beat them, they handed them a basketball masterclass, signed, sealed, and delivered. Final score? 107-86. Let that sink in. A 21-point blowout at Wintrust Arena, the Sky's home turf. You'd think home court advantage would mean something. Apparently not. This wasn't just a loss. It was a basketball crime scene, and the Sky were the victims.
How does team this go? Oh, here comes another one. Oh my God!
Now let's talk about Phoenix. 17 three-pointers. Yes, you heard that right. 17. That's a franchise record and ties the WNBA single-game record. It felt like they couldn't miss, no matter who was shooting. Even the bench players were raining threes like it was the All-Star game. Meanwhile, Chicago was stuck watching, probably wondering what sport they were playing. The Mercury didn't just score, they humiliated the Sky in every possible way.
The myth of all myths, the deception of deceptions.
So how does a team with supposed star power crumble like this? Let's rewind to the first quarter, where the Sky trailed 31-18. The game barely started, and they were already drowning. It was as if the Sky decided to skip defense entirely, leaving Phoenix to score at will. Chicago's offense? Non-existent. They looked more like spectators than competitors.
104-86 is now, you see that, there's 47 seconds left.
By halftime, things went from bad to worse. The Mercury were up 58-43, and the Sky had no answer. It wasn't just a lack of execution, it was a lack of heart. Every loose ball, every contested shot, every hustle play, it all belonged to Phoenix. But then came the third quarter, and let's just say, if you thought Chicago couldn't sink lower, you were wrong. Outscored 34-15 in a single quarter. 34-15. That's not just bad, it's embarrassing. By the time the quarter ended, Phoenix had a 34-point lead.
The bravado still got their ass kicked. Game was over by the end of the first quarter.
This wasn't just a game, it was a statement, a brutal reminder of how far the Sky have fallen. For a team now sitting at 3-9, this loss isn't just a bump in the road, it's a full-blown crisis. They've dropped 5 of their last 6 games, and each loss feels more humiliating than the last. Where's the fight? Where's the pride? Because last night, it was nowhere to be found.
This team sucks. I have watched 4 games with Angel Reese this season, and every time I watch, there's one consistency.
Now let's be real. The Sky's problems didn't start yesterday, but this game might just be the tipping point. From defensive lapses to offensive inefficiency, the cracks in their foundation are wide open for everyone to see. And the worst part? They seem to have no clue how to fix it. The Mercury, on the other hand, are living their best life. A 5-game win streak, a historic shooting performance, and a dominant record of 11-4. They're looking like championship contenders, while the Sky look like they're auditioning for the lottery draft. So where does Chicago go from here? Because if this is the kind of basketball they're planning to play, they might as well pack it up now. Something's got to change, and it's got to change fast.
The greatest myth in the WNBA dump has officially been exposed. Angel Reese is a huge star.
Angel Reese, a name that practically screams dominance, star power, and an unrelenting will to win. At least that's the image she's cultivated. But last night,
the one thing she could do was rebound the ball, and he has taken that away.
Let's just say the hype didn't match the reality. 2 rebounds. Yes, 2. For a player whose entire brand is built around owning the boards, this wasn't just a bad night. It was a disaster. A career low that spans her entire basketball journey, from high school phenom to college superstar to WNBA rookie.
Angel only shot the ball once. She did have 6 free throws, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 9 points.
And it's not like the rest of her stat line did much to redeem her. 9 points, 2 assists, 1 steal, and a single block in 21 minutes of play. 21 minutes. For someone who's supposed to be the Sky's franchise cornerstone, those numbers are embarrassing. Is she being benched for strategic reasons, or is this just a reflection of how far she's fallen? Either way, the narrative isn't pretty, and it's hard not to wonder if the coaching staff is as confused as the fans.
Angel Reese is the face of the WNBA because she leads the league in followers on social media, along with missed layups and a complete lack of athleticism.
What's even more baffling is how someone who was supposed to redefine dominance in the WNBA has ended up being the punchline. Critics have pointed out that Reese seems more focused on curating her social media presence than her game. Sure, she's pulling likes and retweets, but maybe she should focus on pulling down rebounds instead.
She will proudly tell you that she is the reason people are watching pretend basketball.
Because let's face it, people watch the WNBA for her, yes. But they're not tuning in for her stellar play right now. They're watching the slow-motion car crash of her performances.
Angel Reese is being given too much too soon.
And let's not sugarcoat this. Reese's struggles aren't just about bad games. They're about a bad look. She's built herself up as larger than life, but right now she's playing smaller than ever. If the WNBA is her stage, then last night was a flop of epic proportions. Fans aren't entertained by highlight reels anymore. They're sticking around for the epic meltdowns.
The reigning, defending, undisputed champs of pretend basketball.
The problem is, Reese knows she's the face of the Chicago Sky. The pressure to live up to that title seems to be weighing her down. But at some point, excuses stop mattering.
Angel Reese is the type of person to go to the gym with a camera crew so that she can document it for the gram and for TikTok, which is cool on both sides.
Yes, the Sky are struggling as a team, but Reese isn't delivering even the basics of what she was brought in to do. The rebounding woes? Shocking. The lack of impact on either end of the court? Even worse.
And when you do stuff like that, and you're drawing attention to yourself because of that, that can be problematic for you, especially when the comparison is going to be drawn to Caitlin Clark, who isn't doing such things.
At the end of the day, Angel Reese has a choice to make. She can either let the criticism, the memes, and the underwhelming performances define her season, or she can get back to the player everyone knows she can be.
I love Angel Reese. I think that Angel Reese is great. I think she's fantastic for the WNBA. I think when you talk about the average salary, it was like approximately $124,000, if I remember correctly. Well, guess what? The average salary in the NBA is over $10 million.
But if she's too busy scrolling through her DMs or posting cryptic Instagram stories to notice the state of her game, then maybe the Sky aren't the only ones in trouble. Maybe Angel Reese needs to look in the mirror and ask herself, is this really what a star looks like?
I mean, this is a disastrous. The Chicago Sky are an abomination. It's a disastrous.
But let's not stop at Reese's performance. The numbers from this game tell a much bigger, uglier story about the Chicago Sky. As a team, they managed just 22 rebounds.
Oh, they look bad.
For context, that's barely more than what one star player like Breanna Stewart can pull down on a good night. The Mercury didn't just out-rebound the Sky, they obliterated them on the boards. Chicago looked like they were allergic to hustle plays, while Phoenix cleaned up every loose ball like it was their last meal. And then there's the shooting. The Mercury were on fire, hitting 51.5% from the field, and an eye-popping 48.6% from beyond the arc. Meanwhile, Chicago's offense looked like it was stuck in quicksand. Camila Cardoso and Michaela Onyenwere tried to keep things respectable, putting up 17 points each. But let's face it, those numbers are meaningless when the rest of the team can't back them up. Phoenix, on the other hand, put on a clinic in team basketball. 25 assists. Let that sink in. This wasn't one or two players carrying the load. This was an entire squad moving the ball, finding open shots, and burying Chicago in a sea of threes. 6 Mercury players hit at least 2 three-pointers. 6. It's the kind of balanced offense that every coach dreams of and every opposing team fears.
Their coach literally just waved the white flag. He quit.
So what does this mean for Chicago, for Reese, for a team that's supposed to be rebuilding but looks more like it's in free fall? The answers aren't clear, but the questions are piling up. One thing is certain. Last night's performance wasn't just a loss. It was a wake-up call, a glaring sign that something needs to change, and fast. Whether that change comes from the players, the coaching staff, or both, remains to be seen. For now, all we can do is wait and watch, hoping that the next time Angel Reese takes the court, she looks more like the player we know she can be, and less like the one we saw last night.
Nothing special about it. There's no allure.
If you thought the game was dramatic, wait until you hear what happened after. Kahleah Copper, a former Chicago Sky standout and now Phoenix Mercury star, took to social media and lit the match. Her post on X, formerly Twitter, read, "Dubs in the chat." Harmless? Maybe. But let's not kid ourselves. This wasn't just a celebration. It was a playful jab wrapped in confetti, and the internet ate it up. Fans immediately connected the dots to Angel Reese's earlier use of the phrase. And suddenly, it wasn't just a post, it was a headline.
And the situation at hand is that when Angel Reese walks in to the Indiana Fever Arena, she is no longer safe. She is not safe because there are some Indiana Fever fans who are racist.
Social media did what social media does best, blew up. Fans dissected every syllable of Copper's post, turning it into a meme war. Some cheered for the Mercury's dominance, while others came to Reese's defense, claiming Copper was out of line. Reese herself? She took the high road, or at least the quiet road. Her response was a simple, on to the next, on Instagram stories. Classy? Sure. But let's not ignore the underlying tension. Is this the start of a full-blown rivalry between Reese and Copper? Because if it is, sign us up for the drama.
Angel Reese? Angel Reese is painfully boring.
But let's talk about Angel Reese, the centerpiece of all this chatter. Being the face of the Chicago Sky in your rookie season isn't exactly a walk in the park. It's more like being handed a ticking time bomb and told, good luck. The expectations are sky high, pun intended, and every misstep feels like a public trial. Critics have been quick to point out that Reese hasn't been able to replicate her college dominance in the WNBA. And honestly, they're not wrong.
I guess it's somewhat understandable why Camouflage's daughter was overlooked for this award. BET, they couldn't see her.
It's not just about the numbers, it's about the perception. In college, Reese was untouchable, a double-double machine who could single-handedly change a game. In the pros, she's struggling to find that same rhythm. The psychological toll of repeated losses and mounting criticism is real, and it's hard not to wonder how it's affecting her confidence. Can she rise above it? Can she be the leader the Sky desperately need? These are questions she'll have to answer sooner rather than later. So where does this leave us? On one hand, you have a rising star in Angel Reese trying to navigate the rough waters of her rookie season. On the other, you have a Phoenix Mercury team firing on all cylinders, sending a message to the rest of the league. The contrast couldn't be starker, and the tension couldn't be higher. If there's one thing we know for sure, it's this: the story is far from over. Whether it's on the court or online, the drama is just getting started. And honestly, we can't wait to see what happens next.
I just hope y'all know the WNBA don't pay my bills at all. I don't even think that pays one of my bills.
What's next for Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky? That's the million-dollar question, and honestly, the answer isn't looking too clear. The Sky's upcoming schedule is a mixed bag, with opportunities to bounce back but plenty of room for the slump to deepen. They'll face some beatable opponents, but if their recent performances are any indication, even winnable games feel like uphill battles. Can they turn it around, or is this just the beginning of a long, painful season? One thing that's already under the microscope is coaching. Decisions about Reese's minutes have fans scratching their heads. 21 minutes for your supposed franchise player? That's either a tactical move gone wrong or a sign that something isn't clicking internally. Add to that the team's lack of identity. Are they a fast-paced offensive squad or a defensive grind team? Right now, they're neither. The coaching staff has some serious questions to answer, and the clock is ticking. For Reese, the road ahead is equally complicated. She needs to find her rhythm sooner, or she will be kicked out of the league without a second thought. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to get more updates on WNBA play.